Cancelled.
Schweezy.
Okay, Micah, you ready for something you're going to like?
And I really like that.
Really like that.
So it's time for us to give relationship advice. Now, usually I do this alone because I am the expert of all things relationship related. But today, I wanted to involve you. And you're going to tell people wrong advice, and I'm going to fix it for. So today, we do have a little bit of a different way we're doing relationship advice. Now, Micah has said that I hate women.
Maybe a couple times.
Micah thinks I hate women. So I'm going to see how well he does at giving relationship advice. We're going to do the best of. So you may have already heard me give advice on this before, but now it's Micah's turn to think if he can do it any better. So let's get into our first question we have. Sex doll dilemma. So my boyfriend of 7 years recently bought a sex doll without really consulting me about it, and I'm not okay with it. I don't know why it upsets me so much, but I can't be a part of it. And I see him totally different because of it. And am I being too hard on myself, or selfish, or him selfish? This person does not know how to fucking write. I just feel like he felt like he had to get it because he gets something from it I can't give him. Seriously considering moving out and ending their relationship. We also have 2 children, and my son accidentally has seen the sex doll. I'm just so over it. Now, in the past, I have said that this is the saddest form of cheating that has ever existed. I fully believe this is cheating, and it's really sad. Now, you give us your wisdom, Micah, because you apparently are better than me.
You know, with every relationship, what I've come to learn is that the most open communication you can have with your partner will usually, fare better in the long run, the more you're, open with each other. This is why I haven't been able to date anyone longer than 6 months, because I'm my full open self in the first couple months. And then it's that's not what I'm about, Micah. And that's okay. You save time. But when you're in a serious relationship and you talk about even things like porn, right? Is that cheating? Relationship, you have to be open with your partner. If you are a person who was addicted to porn before you got married, you're probably not going to stop watching porn after you get married or be in a serious relationship, whatever it is.
Or have a sex doll and 2 children.
So this person obviously felt the need to go get a sex doll. And that, we don't kink shame here, right? That's what I understand.
No, we do shame because if your kink is a child, I'm going to shame you.
So we do some kink shaming. I get it. The bottom line is, though, did she talk to him about it? Their kid's seen it, but did they have a hard one-on-one conversation about the sex doll? And for her, if that is a line to be drawn in the sand, that, hey, you having sex with inanimate plastic, an inanimate object, is a threshold that I can't tolerate, he needs to know that.
Oh, yeah. And
Congratulations. You played yourself.
So that would be my advice, is that they sit down.
Do you consider it cheating? Would you consider it cheating?
I wouldn't consider it cheating any more than watching porn would be cheating. I mean, it's like you're using a conduit, right? You're using a third entity outside of your one-on-one dynamic to engage in sexual activities. And it's inanimate in that it's not a thinking, feeling human being. I would say porn's different because those are thinking, feeling human beings on the other side of the camera. They just decide to put away that role and they wear wear nothing. But, we're going to just be
actors and actresses
in
a serious role?
They're just they're flushing their body like you were saying earlier.
This is the type of guy you get.
Like they're flushing all the talk, the feces and getting their bodies prepped for literally just a paycheck.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And so if that's a threshold, though, that your partner is like, hey, no, I don't want you to desire anything outside of our physical connection. You having sexual activity with some porn video is actually you giving a part of yourself, a part of your seed, your entity, to that other essence video. That's not what I'm about.
That's rough, buddy.
I mean, is that what you want to hear? What would be your relationship advice?
It's cheating and it's sad. So you got to knock that shit off.
So, like, if he's cheating, like, can he, like, what? Why is it cheating to you to like have a sex doll?
Because he's choosing the sex doll over his wife, and he's basically creating a relationship with the sex doll. You don't understand what people with sex dolls are like. You don't understand. There's a whole existence of sex dolls.
So let me ask you something. Do you think it's cheating to use a fleshlight?
Not necessarily.
Oh, but that's just silicone and a surface, a hole to basically come in.
Most people don't name their fleshlights. People name their sex dolls.
It gives you a little more intimacy and connection, maybe. But
it's
that's
more of
probably
just a masturbation tool. Like a vibrator is a masturbation tool.
So
A sex doll is a sex tool.
So really, in your mind, sex dolls are cheating because there's actually more of a stronger emotional connection to it.
Yes, that's correct.
Than with a flashlight.
That's why I say if you just need to jerk one off, like looking at porn, and you're not marrying the woman in the porno. You know they're not even in love in porn, and they're not even really step siblings.
And none of it's painful. Apparently.
So thank you for your advice on that. Let's move on to the next one. I want to tell my girlfriend about my fat fetish, but I am horribly terrified by the notion.
That's rough, buddy.
My girlfriend and I are just out of college. We have been dating for a year and a half now and planning on moving in with each other next year when she starts grad school. We love each other like a lot. We are both very serious about the idea of marriage. I am very happy with her and she is happy with me. I just have one secret that I am both dying to reveal to her and deathly afraid to. I have a fat fetish, as the title suggests. It's very tame compared to some form of fat fetish. I just simply like plumper, larger women. I every so often weigh the idea of telling her this. My goal is not to persuade her into indulging me in this fetish. Not that I would be opposed, but I am happy with her however she chooses to be. But, well, I don't know. There's just a part of me wanting her to know and another that is deadly afraid of how she will take it. I have as much reason to believe a good thing could come from telling her as I do a bad thing. I could go on with life not telling her, but then what if she ever found out? What if I'm missing out on something? When you Google this idea of telling your significant other about fat fetish, there are not many accounts to read about, so I seek second, third, fourth, and so on opinions on the matter. I'm not necessarily hoping to come to a conclusion, but rather just hear from you. So my first response is
Hashtag pray for Micah.
But
Why? Because of fat people?
yeah, that's the one we play. Micah, I initially answered this as not everyone needs to know your fetishes. However, you're in a serious relationship with this person. Don't call it a fetish. Just say you prefer a bigger woman.
I mean, that's pretty bold language to say this is a fetish.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it sounds like that's a deep-seated desire. Like that's what I think of a fetish.
I feel like this is more like a preference.
I mean, I'm not saying it's, you know,
it's not wrong. I mean,
right, but at the
as long
same
as
time,
it's
like, you know,
consenting to being fat. Yeah.
yeah. But if you're telling me like this person can't be with somebody unless they're fat, like that's something that they need to work on themselves for. Because like goes back to like 600-pound life, right? Like. If you're
There's an
dating
episode
somebody
where a guy's into a fat fetish and like,
right, like there's got to be some kind of weird kink to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I like a thicker person, but that changes a little bit when it's I want someone to be so fat I have to wipe their ass and like move their fat for them, and that's the kind of shit we watched on these episodes. For the love of God, if you're out there, do not watch My 600-Pound Life.
or do, and because it's a great comedy
It will ruin your whole perception on relationships and reality.
and fat people.
Because it's like, oh, why am I single? There's literally couples, people
It'll
out there.
ruin fat people for you.
They're so broken. They're like, I like to date and be a fiance or whatever to a guy who I have to turn them over, wipe their sores for them. I mean, that's ideal when you get old, but when you're in your 30s, you're in your 20s, and you're 700 pounds, like, and you want to date that, like. I'm not saying everyone deserves love. I mean, because everyone does.
No, there's some people who don't.
But I have
Do you
to
think
question.
Hitler deserved love?
I have to question. Sure, yeah. I mean, if there was
You
more
hear
love
it
in the
first.
world,
Hear this first, folks. Micah thinks Hitler deserves love. This cancel
I
Schweezy
think
exclusive.
love can change people's perceptions. But sometimes there's tough love, right? Like maybe the love Hitler didn't get when he was a little kid. You know,
Like maybe some time traveling Jews kept trying to kill him, and that's why he hates Jews.
It could have been that. Try to understand that person's perspective.
Yeah, try to understand QAnon. Just try to understand it. They're smart.
That's a good example, though. The people who follow QAnon usually are people who are, folks who are just like looking for answers.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
We can't, and some of them came out and were just like, wow, I was blinded. I just needed to latch onto some belief in some kind of community to give me validation.
Okay.
And
So-
people who date 600-pound people are probably looking for some kind of internal validation that
So let's answer the deep-seated question. Should he tell, in his own words, his significant other about his fat fetish?
yes.
He really is like, honey, I have a fat fetish. Because I think he probably did misunderstand it more. I think it's more of a preference to me.
I mean, if it's something he has to hide, it might not be just totally a preference. It
So,
might be
okay.
that like it's some part of his identity that he doesn't understand why is wrapped up in his character, wrapped up in his his bodily reactions, right? But to lie about it and not share it is the most detrimental thing you can do in any relationship, because the more that some part of you, your true self, is hiding in the closet, the more you'll repress those emotions and take them out in other ways,
Okay. All right, I guess that's all we're going to say on that. Squirting insecurities. My boyfriend wants me to squirt, but I can't. I tried to explain to him that my body can't do that, and porn makes things seem a lot more possible / common than they actually are. I know some women say they can, and I believe them. It's just not something that happens to me. And now I'm feeling quite insecure about my ability to perform in bed. What should I do? You're going to answer first, then I'm going to answer after.
I wasn't listening. Can you start over?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I was literally still thinking about 600-pound live fat people stuff.
You're always thinking about fat girls, aren't you?
Yeah, I have a fetish. What can I say?
My boyfriend wants me to squirt, but I can't. I tried to explain to him that my body can't do that, and porn makes things seem a lot more possible / common than they actually are. I know some women say they can, and I believe them. It's just not something that happens to me, and now I'm feeling quite insecure about my ability to perform in bed. What should I do?
Well, if she really loves him, I guess she should probably just pee, and try and make it look like make it look like a squirt as much as possible.
That's actually the same answer I gave. Just
I
like,
knew you were going to say that. I mean, that's the real answers you want. You don't want the good
That's
old.
gonna be the real. You're just gonna have to piss on him.
I would say be honest with somebody. Like, I don't squirt.
If you piss on him,
And I really like that.
And also have a conversation if squirting is real, because that's
some
also.
women, it is real, but it's just it's a rare thing. What in porn, however, what they'll do is they chug like 2 or 3 bottles of Pedialyte, and then it's just piss. It's literally just piss. Doesn't smell bad because it's Pedialyte. It just smells like Pedialyte for some reason.
All I'm saying is, the moral of the story is, the more you share with your partner the true honesty about who you are and what you need, don't lie. Don't create kinks that you can't fulfill or say.
And
you
if she
can.
does squirt, it's probably piss. I'm just gonna be. If I ever meet a girl who squirts, I've never have, unfortunately.
Just assume.
That's rough, buddy.
But I'm just gonna assume. Did you just fucking pee on me?
And I feel like, what kind of guy do you have to be to ask a girl or say like, "Oh, I need you to squirt"?
Oh,
like,
you don't understand the female body. That's the females.
Right. That's somebody who literally just lives vicariously through porn, and they're just trying to force their partner into a porn lifestyle. And that's bullshit. Like, we live in the real world, reality, where people don't squirt, they pee.
People don't squirt, they pee. Let's go on to the next one. New boyfriend surprised me with a vibrator. I started talking to this guy back in February, and we started officially dating by the end of March. And we've been sexually active, but the other day he told me he had a surprise for me, and he pulled out a vibrator when we were about to go at it. We haven't been together for a full 2 weeks, and I'm not sure if this is appropriate, at least this early on. Everything about it seems fine, and it seems like he genuinely cares about me, but for some reason, this just doesn't seem right. That is a weird thing to bring up unprompted, isn't it?
Yeah, to get like a vibrator.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I got you something.
Says the guy who sends cock rings to his friends for their wedding gifts, Like,
Yeah. Well, they'll use that.
I mean, are you saying only dudes deserve vibrator activities? Women don't deserve vibrators?
It's a different situation from me giving Austin Doyle a vibrating cock ring for his wedding. Because they can actually, that's like a gift that someone gave you to use. When a guy like brings out a vibrator, it's kind of the situation where it's like, I'm not going to make you come. So you got to figure that shit out on your own.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Perception is only how we describe our activity. The reality is, maybe he meant it as like a way to enhance sexual activity. I mean, can you imagine having a vibrator on your clit while a guy is
I don't have
having
a clit.
sex? I mean, for a woman.
Well, I mean, no. She's like, can I bust out the vibrator? I'm like, go for it. It's not my problem.
I mean, if it's unsolicited, sure, might send the message
Kind of like
that,
a thing
you're
like
not
she
interested.
should bring up, not him.
Right, I could see that, but maybe he's just trying to like enhance something in their lives. Maybe he wants the vibrator secretly for himself, and he just didn't have a way to tell her, and he just was like, "Hey,
Shove this up my ass."
maybe you deserve the vibrator, but maybe I want to try experimenting with vibrate. Well, not that, underneath your balls, maybe along your taint. Be a nice place to put a vibrator for a guy.
Yeah, it sounded like you wanted to use it at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy plays gay porn for me and laughs at it. But when I reference appropriate way that maybe men can use vibrators and it's not gay, it made him blush and look away. Like, just note that on the camera.
I might like butt stuff. I have a bidet.
He has a bidet. You have to admit you like butt stuff.
I might, yeah. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying I hate it.
Maybe we should call Shari Chrisman. Let her know.
Hey, Shari.
He's not gay, but he says he doesn't hate it.
But I might like a finger in the butt from a woman. From a woman.
From a woman.
There is a difference between a woman putting a finger in her butt and a man putting a finger in your butt. If a man does it, it's gay. If a woman does it, it's just having fun.
So how does this relate to...
Anyways, next
squirting?
question. I don't know. Wait, no, we're talking about the vibrators.
Oh, the vibrator. That's right. I forget what garbage content we're covering. Sorry.
Here's a question for you. How can I stop treating women badly? I need advice on how I can change my behavior. I'm a 22-year-old man, and yesterday my 4-year-long relationship ended with my girlfriend, who I had been dating since high school. I loved her, and she loved me, but our relationship was not perfect, mainly due to me. My father is an abusive and very Catholic, so when my girlfriend and I started dating, I kept it a secret from my parents because I was afraid of how they would react. After high school, I went to the same college as my girlfriend because I wanted to be closer to her. After 2 years of dating, my parents found out that things got very hostile between us, and as a result, I had a breakdown. I went back home to my parents, and my girlfriend stayed at college and supported me during this whole process. Eventually, I went to therapy for a bit, and my relationship with my parents improved. However, the pandemic hit, and so I wasn't able to go back to my girlfriend. I dropped out of the college my girlfriend attended and started applying to transfer to different ones. I miraculously got into a very good university in a different state and decided I would go there. My girlfriend supports the idea and decision and said she would move there with me when she graduated. I moved to this new city in January and got very depressed and began drinking heavily. I then made the choice to download Tinder, and I cheated on my girlfriend. I didn't tell my girlfriend, and I grew up very distant from her because of my shame. I also kept talking to the girl from Tinder, and she eventually got feelings for me.
That's rough, buddy.
I'm sure by now you can see how this all blew up in my face. I came home for the summer and my girlfriend confronted me about why I'm so distant. I lied and it didn't matter because the girl from Tinder told her everything and my girlfriend rightfully dumped me. I'm not making this post so you give me pity or for some sort of self-flagellation, but because I want to stop being the person that would hurt someone who loves me so much and who stood by me at my lowest point. I don't consider myself a bad person of the sort or a sociopath, but now how could manipulate and lie to loved ones so easy? I'm aware of the growing belief that women my age have that men are trash. I don't want to be that stereotype anymore. I want to change. My answer was, hey, don't cheat on someone. It's not. That's how you stop being trash. Stop cheating.
Yep.
It's not hard. I know people like cheating, but it's easy not to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We could say that about any point of our lives, right? Like, look back at the mistakes made. Like, why didn't you just not do that? Why'd you just not get drunk and, pass out at the
But he's
activity?
wanting to figure out what to do going forward.
Well,
Like, he knows he made the mistake, but he's like, how do I stop treating women
I think that's
badly?
honestly the first step. As long as you can recognize where you're at, what you did wrong, and like, hey, this needs to change. Like, that's honestly the first step. It's like, that's a good sign. Like, as long as you can like recognize like, hey, I was a shitty person yesterday. I'm gonna try to be a less shitty person today. Like, that's enough, starting point for anybody, right? But I'm not going to justify anyone's actions. If you're going to a relationship with that you're monogamous, that you're in this solely with each other,
Ride or Die, out now, wherever you stream your music.
and college is also just a weird time. Like, folks are still trying to figure each other out. It's like, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to justify his actions. Like, it's shitty that he cheated on his girlfriend. And this whole drama between the Tinder person having to go tell the girlfriend about all that shit. Like, at the end of the day, like, these are people who are trying to make sense of their pain and suffering. And some people can look back at these moments and kind of laugh and just, life's so big and different, right? Like, how I might feel about an event 60, 70 years from now might be totally different than how I felt about it yesterday,
Yeah. All right, yeah, I guess we have the same answer. Because I'm a great person and I've taught you well. So we got two more.
Don't cheat on people.
Don't cheat. Just don't do that.
Unless you're polyamorous and you've
And if you're poly, go fuck yourself.
basically
This is the type of guy you get.
whatever you've agreed at the
Pretty
outset
bold
of
you
your
little
relationship,
fucks to
stick to those
assume that
agreements.
I'm not God.
And that too. My husband goes somewhere every Friday, but won't tell me where. Me and my husband have had 4 kids, so a few months ago, my husband started going to one of his friends' houses on Fridays, or at least that's where he said he was going. So last Friday, I tried to call my husband while he was at his friend's house because I wanted him to get groceries. He did not respond, so I called his friend. His friend said that he wasn't there, so I was confused. When he came home, I asked him where he was, and he said he was at his friend's house. I told him that I called his friend, and he said he wasn't there. My husband said that he was there. I am not sure what I should do. Can anyone help me, please? So how I answered this was, he's either doing something good for you or doing something bad to you. And that's why there's a secret involved. So,
That's rough, buddy.
So wait, she just has no idea where he goes on Friday nights?
yeah, you thought he was at his friend's, but then she just figured out he doesn't go there. And it's like a weekly occurrence.
Oh, that motherfucker's probably cheating on you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's
Like,
probably cheating on you.
You
Let's
want
just
it
be real,
to be a
folks.
good thing.
You want it to be a good thing, but if it's a weekly, it's not like, oh, he's been doing this last month or two, and that's like the month leading up to our birthday, and he's secretly like sneaking out to like work on a birthday present or like
Yeah.
Like, if it's a short window, you can expect good things are coming from it. If it's like a weekly thing and who knows how long it's been going on,
That's rough, buddy.
it's rough. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we both agree it's cheat. It has to be cheating. Because I feel like if it's something good, like a surprise, it's only a couple times, but this is like a very big occurrence.
It may not even be cheating, but whatever it is, he's obviously ashamed of it. He had to create a lie around it. He had to escape from it, like his wife getting the reality of it. So whatever it is, he could be going out like a serial killer murdering people for all we know. But if he's not where he says he's going to be on Fridays, and he's been doing this weekly for however knows, I mean, he could be Dexter for all we know. He's killing serial killers,
Oh, yeah.
This is the type of guy you get.
Anyway, so we got to our last question today, Micah. Then you can go to your niece's birthday party
Yep. That's
And
where I'm going to go.
and talk to your mom about doing hardcore anal for $10.
I hope my mother never sees this episode or anything to do with Schweezy ever.
She probably won't.
Praying for that.
Hashtag pray for Micah.
Okay, my best friend told me that she is in a sexual relationship with her biological father, and she recently met for the first time, and I don't know if I can continue to be her friend. Looking for advice.
That's rough, buddy.
My best friend met her biological father for the first time last year. He never knew she existed before since they've been spending a lot of time together getting to know each other. For what she said, they had an instant connection. first time they met. She told me how cool he is and how they have so much in common and are so much alike. It's unbelievable. She was worried about who/what he could have been and was pleased to find out that he's a decent person that's done well for himself. We live in different states, but I'm supposed to go visit her soon, and she had wanted me to meet him. My friend has always dated men that were a lot older than her, so age difference has never been an issue for her. She's dated guys her own age, but for some reason she was never happy in her relationships that were age appropriate. Her dad's longest relationship was with a woman super close to my friend's age. Her and her dad constantly talk about how attractive they think each other are, and they would talk about each other how you would a new boyfriend/girlfriend. I don't know what it's like to be in her situation, so I just try to dismiss those comments as something I don't understand. They went on vacation so that they could spend more time together, and when they got back, they decided to start telling people that he's her father. After their trip, she told me that she had something that couldn't wait until she sees me. She told me that she was nervous to tell me in person, but that her and her dad have been engaging in a physical relationship, and she's never been happier, but has been having a hard time not being able to tell anyone. She said she's never felt this way about anyone, and she can't stop thinking about him and how he said he feels the same way. She told me that it was the best sex she's ever had in her life, and she says she wants to be with her dad. I thought that I was an understanding person, but I can't understand this, and it's really making me question her as a person. I feel guilty for her feeling this way, but our friendship hasn't always been ideal, so maybe losing this friendship wouldn't be so bad as I think. She clarified that he was the more hesitant one at first, and that she is the one that made the first move. She had met and spent time together, and she spent several months trying to pursue something with him. He even offered to pay for her to go to therapy to talk to someone about her feelings. She stayed at his house the night before they were supposed to meet his extended family, and she went and got in his bed in the middle of the night, and that is where lines were crossed. I think that he still shouldn't have acted on it, but I feel really gross knowing she tried so hard to make something happen. If it had been the other way around, I would have felt protective of her. I don't know how to handle this situation and am looking for advice. Now, I'm telling you right now, Micah, when I first got this on the show, and this is probably why I say this for last, this almost broke me.
Yeah.
And
it should break you.
of all the crazy shit I hear and watch, of this,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
even down to this,
This is the type of guy you get.
and even to,
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
and even this.
I identify as a fucking threat.
This is the thing that broke me. Can you please go first? Because I forgot how much I hated this.
Forgot. You just read the whole thing. And, let's be real. If we're going to give it any benefit or credit of the doubt, you have to go with, old school Freudian, psychological beliefs, which is that at the end of the day, we're all just trying to find our father or mother in another person. You can degrade it to the bare bones like that, but even then, at least you're diversifying your genes because it's another person, not your actual father or mother. And so the fact that this person was genuinely attracted to their father means that there is something deeply traumatic and broken there. There's probably sexual abuse involved, early stages of that person's life with her father.
That's rough, buddy.
And I can't speak, this is...
Obviously, this is like podcasting, so we don't know the people, so we can just talk shit as much as we want.
Right. But at the end of the day, I empathize with,
Oh, I forgot you have that.
oh, yeah, I have this thing where, I have to, put myself in that person's shoes, there's something really fucked up about fathers. Even if she genuinely believes she has a connection with her dad, he created that, whatever it is. You know what I mean? He obviously was the human who existed before her on Earth and understands how this world works. To force her into that kind of position, to have to, question her reality of who she should be with and be sexually connected to him is all, his doing, Deep.
Oh my gosh, so deep.
This doesn't work for this situation.
It's really dark when you put it for this situation. That's really bad.
I initially said, you have daddy issues. And you should see a therapist.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like the simplified version.
Because I can't solve this problem. I'm only a man.
None of us can solve,
This is the type of guy you get.
like, incest. You know, like,
Yeah, I can't solve incest. Sorry, folks. I can't solve incest. I've been trying for so long. But at the end of the day, I can't.
praise be.
So anyways, hey, thank you for checking out that highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Now, I hope your brain cells don't hurt. We got more highlights available now everywhere. We also got more full episodes as well. If you want to watch a full episode of Cancel Schweezy, available now, right here, right now, available now. If you liked everything, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified when new highlights and episodes come up. And leave a comment, like, and stay awesome.